Let's start with the IndiGo crisis. As the flight operations gradually go back to normal at major airports across the country after days of disruption, IndiGo CEO Pieter Elbers was summoned by the Ministry of Civil Aviation. He was called to the headquarters where Civil Aviation Minister Mohan Naidu and Secretary Sinha held a detailed meeting with him. Now, sources have told Times Now that the discussion focused on the operations of the airline. IndiGo has now issued a statement. The airline has stated that it operated more than 1,800 flights yesterday and that today it plans to fly around 1,900 flights across the country. Now, as per the airline, it is on-time performance is now back to normal, but the Ministry of Civil Aviation is keeping a close watch on the operations at the major airport. On-ground checks continue by the senior officers who have been deployed at the major airports by the Civil Aviation Ministry. Now, speaking exclusively to Group Editor-in-Chief Navika Kumar, Civil Aviation Minister Mohan Naidu has confirmed that IndiGo's operation will be cut down by 10% and the prime routes will be taken away from them. Have a look.
Let me make one point very, very clear that we are not leaving IndiGo at all.
They are very accountable. I haven't seen, people haven't seen any action so far. What are you going to do?
We from the ministry have advised the regulator to cut down 10% of the operations.
That's not punishment enough.
10% of the operations in the prime routes. There are multiple things. This will act as a deterrent for them, also to encourage the competition and also to ensure the stability on operations.
And the aviation minister also hinted that the crisis might have been created intentionally. Listen in.
We are going to do an in-depth review into this on how these kind of incident. And now, Navika ji, this is not something which has been happening time and again. This is an incident which has cropped up at this specific point of time.
The reason it is unforgivable is because it was deliberate.
Yes.
The reason do you believe this was deliberately done by IndiGo? Are you convinced?
There seems to be some kind of intentional this thing. Let me come to that point, because the way they have been operating, the way they have control over their operations, this shouldn't have happened. Let me straight away place the fact that this is an incident which shouldn't have happened at all.
And then it was done intentionally.
Why has it come at that specific point of time? And how did it lead us into that situation? So this is something which we are thoroughly investigating. I want an in-depth review to be done, and that is what we are doing right now, and it will be followed by very strict and appropriate enforcement action.
For more on this, let me go across to my colleague Arunil, who's been tracking all the details from Maharashtra. Arunil, on one hand, IndiGo has been saying that the operations are back to normal. Yesterday, they flew around 1,800 flights, and today the number is going to be around 1,900. But give us an update as far as the ground reality are concerned, because yesterday as well, we saw a lot of cancellations as well as delays.
Well, Akansha, slowly and gradually, the situation is returning to normalcy. But the kind of harrowing experience the passengers faced in the last 1 week, some kind of accountability needs to be set in. And that is why the IndiGo CEO, Pieter Elbers, was summoned by the Civil Aviation Minister. The Secretary, Sinha, was also very much present. It seemed like some tough questions were asked to the IndiGo CEO, as well as a rap in the knuckles also been given to the main top brass of the IndiGo. If at all the government of India, that is Civil Aviation Ministry, feels that it was intentionally created, in the entire ruckus, the fiasco was intentionally created, the chaos was intentionally created only because IndiGo allegedly wanted to oppose the new flight duty time limit guidelines set in by the DGCA, which again DGCA was forced to roll back as well. If at all they intentionally did this, then how the government is going to react to it, what kind of punitive measures that will be imposed on IndiGo, that also we will be keeping a close eye on.
Absolutely, and there have been meetings in the last few days, Arunil. In fact, the CEO of IndiGo was summoned by the ministry yesterday. Take us to what is next, what action will be taken against IndiGo as far as the crisis is concerned.
Well, what is the most significant aspect in this, Akansha, is that the Civil Aviation Minister, Mr. Mohan Naidu, in an exclusive conversation with our Group Editor Navika Kumar, is accepting the fact that the government feels that IndiGo may have intentionally did everything. They feel that they have created this only because they wanted to oppose certain guidelines related to flight duty time limit that was issued by the DGCA way back only they felt that they will go into, they will suffer losses if they adhere to those guidelines, and later on force the government to roll back their guidelines that they had issued. If at all it was intentionally created, then the kind of inconvenience, harrowing experience that so many passengers faced across different parts of India, different airports of India, thousands of passengers complaining that there was no proper communication. But the government seems to be serious about this, and what punitive measures or a penalty that will be imposed on IndiGo, that again we will be keeping a close eye on that. From the Civil Aviation Ministry has indeed confirmed that at some of the prime locations, IndiGo's flight IndiGo's journey will be curtailed. 10% of their flights will also be curtailed.
Absolutely. So as far as the arm twisting is concerned, that will come out during the investigation. And now the Civil Aviation Minister has said that action will be taken against the airline.